I won't go into great details on what's needed for enhanced commercialization setup, but I mean, they're well-known issues and very much recognised by the OECD. But one of them is incentives to induce researchers to deal with industry. What incentives are there in the public research organisations, in the universities, to actually talk to industry, when promotion criteria are numbers of PhDs, number of publications, number of grants you win from Horizon 2020 or other national things. So that's a huge issue. Why should researchers deal with industry when they don't directly derive money? So these slides will be available after this. Other things like financing of public research-based spin-offs. So in other words, that bit in the middle again, I mentioned that bridging part. No more public funds should be made available based on OECD guidelines to develop spin-outs. There's other ones as well, easy IP tool management, intellectual property management tools, and IP protocols and methods, which is again must be understood not only by the researchers but particularly by the industry, because often there's a difference in understanding of the two. So the issues to mind that gap, as I say, that need to be addressed are greater understanding of the knowledge transfer system, and particularly the expectations of both parties. The potential opportunities are often least known by the researchers. So the researchers publish, do the research, but they don't often see the opportunity. So that has to be recognised and overcome. And that means interacting with industry and entrepreneurs. Research and industry have different agendas. One focuses, as I said, on publications, the other focuses on profit. And again, has to be recognised. Researchers are often regarded as, often regard success in terms of winning grants, etc., and not necessarily in translating the results into business opportunities. I'll just pick one more there. This is critical, the second last point. The extent of direct personal involvement, or what they call relational intensity, is critical in bridging that gap. That won't happen on the shelf, or it won't happen in theory. It actually happens between Mr. A or Mrs. A and Mr. or Mrs. B in direct, what we call contact sport level, in a nice sort of way, I mean direct contact. From an industry perspective, there's major issues. Financial bottlenecks, I mentioned that. Because of the high risks, it's very hard to convince CEOs or shareholders to invest in that gap. Shortage of and access to skilled personnel, understanding the technologies is not completely by any means absent from the food industry, but there is a particular challenge in the food industry compared with other sectors. Market knowledge, lack of IP rights as well. Often the industry want to own everything. The policy by the national policy of IP is that the research performing organisations who were funded by taxpayers' money actually at least own most of the IP generated, depending on the level of input or co-funding by the industry. So the last couple of slides I have is to say, well, what's the modern technology transfer office? First of all, I feel the modern TTO needs to manage IP more flexible, more better, easier understood, easier policies, easier guidelines, easier or simpler templates. They must explore new challenges, new channels of market opportunities, not just the usual conferences, workshops, seminars, patents and licenses. It needs the company visits to the CEOs, it needs the student exchanges, it needs the personnel exchanges. And the last thing I'll just mention there is TTOs need to consider changes on how they organize themselves, because often they are, even the TTO name, Technology Transfer Office, gives the sense of too much bureaucracy kills innovation, and it ends up that it's all paperwork. That actually frightens the industry out of the office and back into its day job. So these are the main issues I wanted to address. The only other one I'd say is that from a Teagasc point of view, from a Teagasc point of view, we've combined our this end level of technology readiness activities, consultancy, pilot plant, product development, access to machinery, marketing support here with our TTO office. So they're actually combined, and that has helped an awful lot. And the last thing I just want to mention in particular is our gateway strategy. And some people may have heard of this, but it's in all one portfolio is the Teagasc offers in food research. That talks about, it's available in web-based, hard copy, USB, DVD forms, and I see Ciara McDonough here, who only needs to be contacted to get a copy of these. But what it contains, very simply, is our IP-owned offers. So these are our patentable offers that industry can come, pick up, and either try out under an agreement, part owned in terms of licensing or patent development, whatever. And we've about 14 of those on offer at any one time. They come and go. One company has taken one of these, one spin-out company, and now is thinking globally. So that's the type of thing. But the main thing is that it's described in one page with the contact, etc. But before even you get to that end, because that's the end of the research, we have also sorry, that shouldn't be an offer, that should be an update. Our updates, and these are summaries of projects that have just completed or results of work that's actually just completed within a project that may not be completed. And that's often enough for an industry. Sorry, this is going a little behind. That's often enough for a company. Sorry about this. I should have stuck to the pointer. Okay, that's often enough. This update is enough for an industry to get interested in an ongoing project or a recently funded project, such that is at the tail end of development at research level that can then carry it down the line quicker. And often these don't come out till the so-called peer review international journal papers are published. But now we're publishing these almost hot off the press, so that industry know it's ongoing. So that's the purpose of the updates. There's normally about 50 or 60 of those at any one time. In terms of our expertise, again, what are we good at? We're good at baby infant formula, meat science, whey processing, etc. We're not good at everything, so industry can plug in there. And we've our specialist services, and most of all then, and we emphasize this quite a lot, is our individual researchers, so that companies can go direct into the office of, in this case, Martin Danaher, and discuss projects. We've also developed a customer relationship management system, which is unheard of in a research environment, but it was quite I wouldn't quite say a struggle, but it was a challenge to train our researchers, and these would be key permanent researchers in customer relationship management. And the idea here is that the researchers get behind the scenes of companies. They're in charge of 2 or 3 companies. They know the markets, they know the CEO, they know the technical director, they know what's worrying them, and it's an organized system of interaction. And that's managed on a web-based. The last thing I want to mention is our gateways events, which then we put all what I said earlier into 3D or live performances, whereby we invite delegates from the industry to come in to listen to some keynote speakers from industry. Here's Paul Finnerty, CEO of ABP, to talk. Most of all, they engage direct with the researcher. There's no scientific poster presentations. We ban those because we know more research is needed. We know there's 20 references at the end. No one is interested. They're only interested in what's actually on the table. And that's a biofermenter of marine marine seaweed bioactives, which now has gone down the route of IP. So that's an example of the type of thing we've done. We've run about 8 of these events. We've had UK interaction, we had minister support, etc., etc. We should recognise that Enterprise Ireland is embedded with us in this activity through innovation partnerships, their technology centres, Horizon 2020, commercialisation funds, and of course, Knowledge Transfer Ireland. So we're not working in isolation by any means. We're just interacting with them in this way. The last thing for some companies that might be thinking of setting up is FoodWorks, which is an activity of Board Bia, Enterprise Ireland and Teagasc. We provide the technical support, Enterprise Ireland supplied the business support, and Board Bia supplied the marketing support. That's a programme that's called for over once every year, and there may be 100 applicants, and they whittle them down through a series of processes to sort of nurture the companies, and they've had some really good successes in that, and that's been looked at abroad even as being a model for interaction. So I'll leave it at that. I'd say from our end of things, these are the vital importance to push research into active and to achieve economic impact. Excellent science, innovative knowledge transfer, not the classical innovation knowledge transfer, relationship building, a responsive service, one-to-one contact, focus on value creation, industry-led, because that gets that pull from the research into the industry, and then backing from all our CEOs, institutional support, international benchmarking, and obviously strong governance. So that's the bit we're working on, and we'll get there someday. Okay, thanks.